Hello everyone, welcome back to more Professor Layton. Layton, Emmy, and Luke head north to investigate the racetrack. That's kind of cool, I didn't know what the town looked like. Apparently it's a giant crater. Oh yeah, we're talking to this dude. Blue. Oh Scott, I'm Gustav, the manager here. How can I help you fine folks today? My name is Herschel Layton. I'm looking into the case of the masked gentleman at the request of Mrs. Lador. I might ask you some questions. Oh, only too happy to help, although I'm quite busy here with this puzzle. Always with the puzzles, you fucks. Grand Horse Race. One day, 4 people took place in a racing tournament. First they held races of 2, then the winners ran racing at each other. Well, these was better third. Can you work out the order based on the comments below? I won run race, but lost another. I didn't make it to the final. I'm glad I beat A. If I only hadn't lost to B. Huh. Okay, so let's... If only you hadn't lost to B, you would have won. I didn't make it to the final. If only I hadn't lost to B is D. I won one race that lost another. Okay. Let's see if this works. C, I'm just glad I beat A. Very humble person. Maybe she won. A, I won race and lost another. So that means he got into the finals. So he either got second or third. I didn't make it to the final B. If only I hadn't lost to B. Where's D?
I believe I have this.
Maybe?
Solving puzzles is truly a pleasure.
I run gaming tournaments, so I kind of I get that. That's a good one. Yay, new robot. Yeah, thank you. I had some questions. Do you remember anything unusual about the Knife of the Stone statue incident? Unusual? I don't believe so. It's quite uneventful here overall. Do you recall that the carts have been removed recently? Well, yes, actually. One of our kites was sent out for repairs. It was fixed about a month ago, and then I was shocked to see it broke down again. They're quite heavy, though. It's very tough to move around without a horse. We'd like to take a look around. Look at one. All the carts being used right now. There may be one in the garage. You're welcome to take a look. Aha. The garage. Oh, cool. I'm going to turn the 3D on. It looks pretty sweet. Ooh. There's certainly a lot of them. Could this have been the type of cart used in the stone statue incident? If so, I can see why the criminal would use this. It's very sturdy. It could transport quite a bit on one of those, Professor, and very quickly. Take a closer look at this one. It's sturdy and heavy, and it would be a challenge to move one from the track and quickly and quietly. A criminal would have written out there. Yes, but that would have been left tracks leading from here to the scene. The police would have noticed that, I think. Besides, to ride one out there, you'd need a horse to pull it. A missing horse would raise eyebrows. Wait a moment. What is it, Professor? Interesting. Take a closer look here. What am I looking at? These bolts. With a few turns, one could easily disassemble the cart. There's no cart so much easier to transport when they're separate pieces. One could transport the pieces and later reassemble the cart. If you carried around in pieces, it would be much less conspicuous. But wouldn't someone here notice if you were taking apart one of their carts? A good question, Luke. Let's speak with Gustav again. Gustav, what is the process for moving carts from the premises? You mean for repairs? Well, each cart would have to be signed out, and the repair order would be needed signed by the track owner, Mr. Lador. Would you like to see the repair records? Yes, that would be all right. I didn't see why not. Interesting. Is it? The cart we were looking for was just out of the routine maintenance at the same time that statue incident occurred. Surely you're not suggesting that there is a connection between the cart and the nefarious masked gentleman? Simply one of the possibilities. And yes, Henry signed the repair order. Of course, our standard procedure is that no card be removed from the premises without Mr. Ledore's approval. Mr. Ledore was here today actually, you just missed him. Henry was here? Yes, he had just come from the scene of last night's incident apparently. I guess he came across art pieces and dropped clouds from the museum. He spoke to the curator about them. Dropped claws, interesting. Thank you, Gustav. You've been most helpful. I believe our next stop will be the Ledore residence. I agree, we really need to find a chance to peek at length of Mr. Ledore. Isn't he bound to be busy, Professor? I believe he'll make time for us. Sounds good to me. I know this cart's being out for repairs during the situation can't be a coincidence. Well, evidence in one way or another, we must consider all possibilities. I believe you're both correct. At least now we know the truth behind the levitation incident. Yes, Gustav was very helpful when... Wait, the truth behind the levitation incident? He meant the statue incident, Luke. Didn't you, Professor? Aha, no, I meant the levitation incident. I'll explain later. But right now we need to speak with Henry. Right, I hope Mr. Ledore is there. I haven't had a feeling that we may be waiting for us. Yes, I hope so. I knowed! Oh, right. Hey, there you are, laddie. Angela, we were hoping to speak to Henry. Is he here? Yes, of course. Please have a seat in the parlor. I'll tell you to Henry when you see him. Thank you, Angela. Ooh, cutscene. Hell yeah. 3D is awesome. I love fucking 3D, by the way. It's fucking awesome. Such a good gimmick.
Why, yes. Thank you, Henry.
You're very welcome. I would never ask a servant to wait for an old acquaintance. You may find that a bit strange, but I hope it doesn't make you uncomfortable.
Why not at all? I must say, Henry, the success and fame you've achieved here in town is quite astounding.
I wouldn't call myself successful. I've just been very lucky.
Yeah, you're not evil. To what do I owe the honor to your visit? I was hoping you could share some information with us. You own the horse racing track, correct? That is correct. There is evidence to suggest that one of your racing cars was using the stone statue incident of the other night. Absurd. Canards cannot remove the tracks without my permission. Each card has a serial number that is logged if it ever leaves the site. So any card can be removed as long as your permission is given? Yes, I suppose that is one way of looking at it. What are you implying, Layton? It seems pretty clear, Ledore. I'm simply pointing out the log shows that one of the carts was out last night, the night of the incident, with your approval, Henry. The cart was removed for repairs and it was returned yesterday. Do you know anything about the repairs? There were tracks that appeared to be cart leading away from the scene. Well, that's interesting. Henry, I have a reason to suspect that you were involved in last night's levitation stunts as well. Layton, you can't be serious. I understand that after our incident at the museum, you donated a number of works to replace the confiscated paintings. When the master gentleman appeared to be walking on air, I believe he used the wire that was stretched across the plaza. Oh, yeah, that might work. That wire must have been attached to something at the gallery. Yes, and? You could have some very large, heavy donations put on top of the gallery so that the wire would be stable. I have absolutely no evidence to support this nonsense, Layton. You're aware that drop cloths were found near the gallery, correct? The master gentleman used a device to lift his accomplices in the air, and then they covered itself in black cloth. From the zipper's perspective, blinded by neon lights in the sky, the accomplices seemed to simply vanish. Professor, is that really possible? Oh, wait. Professor, is that really possible? Yes, and however, such events would require a bit of financing. Dawson and Henry have a very short list of suspects and the wealth of connections to pull off such a thing. Well, I obviously can't prevent you from suspecting me. I do believe you're forgetting something important. My wealth is completely tied to the fortune of the city. If it collapses, I am ruined. Yes, I keep hearing that. However, the more Mass Gentleman appears, the busier Montior seems to get. I find that odd. The Mass Gentleman has appeared in large crowds near major tourist attractions. Some locals are worried that Montior is getting a reputation for dangerous activity. But most of the talk seems to be centered around mysterious, cosmeric Vidin, capable of performing miracles. Professor, do you think the number of tourists has actually increased as of late? I certainly seem so on the surface, and the Mass Gentleman actions make for grand stage performances. People would be eager to flock to Montior if they believed this was a limited engagement. Layton, I am hearing you correctly. Are you actually suggesting that I hired the Mass Gentleman as some sort of tourism stunt? Seems a possibility, yes. My wife clearly has enough faith in you to have summoned you here. But I don't trust you any farther than I can throw you, Layton. Years ago, you left Randall for dead and ran off to London. You betrayed the memory of your friend, and now you have the nerve to make these ludicrous accusations in my own home? I explored every inch of that draft trap with nothing but Randall's notes as a guide, out of loyalty to him. You have no right to speak to me like this, and you have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. Put your finger down, Layton, it's very rude. Oh, I'm sorry. Henry, let me explain. We have nothing more to discuss. Leave. Very well, we shall. But please hear me out one more time. It's critical for the future of your city. Alphonse Dawson is not the criminal, and it's quite likely that the Masked Gentleman will appear again tonight. You are telling the truth, and I hope to see you tonight as well. Perhaps we will unravel things together. I have nothing more to say to you. Angela, please escort our guests out. Henry! Not good. Ding. Although the Masked Gentleman appeared to be walking on air, he was actually supported by wires strung by the museum and the arcade. His victims were actually accomplices who were drifted up balloons and cloaked in the dark drop cloths. Interesting. I have deduced things. Oh, there's something in this room. Ah, I got it. Captured queen.
I'm sorry, Herschel.
Hey, she's over there.
It's I who should apologize. I've obviously upset your husband.
I just can't unremember that Layton has an English voice actor. Like, not an English voice actor, I mean an American voice
He
actor.
gets emotional sometimes.
And he's just pretending to be
especially
English, it's funny.
concerning Randall.
Understood.
I mean, it's literally the
I
equivalent
also
of what
have
I'm
the
doing.
feeling that Henry is hiding
Understood.
something.
But I also have a feeling that
Oh, I
Henry
doubt
is
that.
hiding something.
Henry's an open book.
Go
He always
fucking-
has been.
I'm not so certain you know him as well as you pretend to.
I beg your pardon? What do you mean by that, Herschel?
I intended no offense, Angela. All will become clear in time.
Yes, well... Thank you, Herschel.
Look at her hair. How does she do that? How do women do that with their hair? Bloop. What's this? Bloop. Really? Henry's suspicious behavior. What can he not tell us? Angela's been acting strangely too. Could her behavior be related to the Masked Gentleman? Perhaps. Perhaps. Professor Layton! What can I do for you, officer? I'm glad I caught you. Can you come with me right away to Carnival Square? Concerns the Masked Gentleman cause. Of course. Is there something wrong? Has the Masked Gentleman appeared again? I don't know, sir. And no, ma'am. The investigation officer on the scene said he needs to speak with you, that's all. This case seems to be growing more complicated by the second. Indeed. Lead the way, officer. I'll take you directly to the officer who requested you. A lot of people have trouble as telling us apart. It must be the hair. Yes, that must be it. You follow me, please. This guy. Bam. Hey, surprise, trouble. We meet again unexpectedly, but we expected no less, no? Yes, hello, Aldous. Good evening. Haha, but the evening is not so good. Rather think you the night air is some sadness. Do you smell such air? But there are tears left now that I run to you. The deepest part of my heart is now warm. And I'm glad we could be of help. Yeah, but you must not leave without a gift from gratitude. I worked on this puzzle for an entire year. Please take it. Bye.